OMG. Can I tell you how happy I am to be here today and how much positive excitement is in the air to celebrate this extraordinary first in the nation announcement for the new drag laureate of the city and county of San Francisco. And here is your job description. Be fabulous all the time. But Rebecca, thank you so much. Where is Rebecca? Thank you so much, Rebecca, for opening up the LGBTQ Center here in San Francisco to make this extraordinary announcement. Thank you to all of the wonderful people who are joining us here today. Let me also thank Sister Roma and so many people. So many people who were a part of the selection committee and who worked really hard through this process. When we first announced in June of last year, we had an incredible committee, and I see supervisors on the side here. Thank you to Supervisor Raphael Mandelman and Supervisor Matt Dorsey for being here. And I know we got a great, fabulous lineup to just say a few words with us before we get to why we are all here. But let me just really start by thanking each and every one of you for celebrating this occasion. It's something that really fills my heart with joy. The fact that San Francisco, over the past couple of years throughout the pandemic and now as we emerge from this pandemic, there are a lot of people who are coming for our city in so many different ways. And the thing about today that's so special is it reminds us who we are. It's not about what others say we are, it's who we show them that we are, and we are showing them everything that we represent by making a decision to be the first to name a drag laureate in this country. We are being And as the reason why this occasion is so special, because even today, we won't give all that negative stuff that's going on the energy that it wants, because in this room, it's too positive to mention. But we do know that our drag community continues to be under attack, even in our own city and county of San Francisco. And that's what makes today so special, because despite all of that, there's still love, there's still hope, there's still joy, there's still sparkly nails in the air. And so, here in San Francisco, I'm so proud that we have a city of people who truly believes in making decisions to make not only policy changes and investments, but also really to support and share in on an occasion like this, people from different communities and different walks of life. And before I turn it over to Scott Wiener and get back to talking a lot more about why we're here to celebrate Darcy, let me just say that on Easter Sunday, one of the things that really made me smile, because we know what was happening with Drag Story Hour, and I was out on Noe Street, and the drag queens ran the show. They were the MC, they were the performers, they were the ones who read the stories, and you had families and kids and community coming together to celebrate Easter. And I just sat there on the side, almost with a tear in my eye, thinking, this is so San Francisco, and I'm so proud to be mayor of this city. So before we get into talking about the lady of the hour, let me just bring up two very, very special, amazing guests who just want to share a few words. And the first one is someone who I just was in Sacramento yesterday myself, and I saw him in Sacramento. I see him here. I think Scott has it's triplets. Because every time I turn around at any event in any city, anywhere, Scott Wiener is there. So ladies and gentlemen, our state senator, Scott Wiener.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. You know, the Dodgers may not be into drag queens, but in San Francisco, we love our drag queens. And I'll tell you, the drag queens are a hell of a lot more popular than the politicians, so we always need to watch out. So I am excited about today for a lot of reasons. First of all, I'm excited to be here in our LGBT Community Center, which so many of us worked so hard to build this place and to build it for the community exactly for days like today. And so to the center and to Rebecca Rolfe, thank you for everything that you do for our community. I'm excited that we have a mayor who gets it and who is an ally and who and a mayor, and I've known London Breed for a long time. You don't have to explain anything to her about our community. She just gets it. She's one of those allies who just gets it, who gets us. And Madam Mayor, thank you so much for everything that you do. And then I am so excited that Darcy Drollinger is our first drag laureate. I first got to know Darcy, it was a while ago when I was on the Board of Supervisors, and Heklina, God rest her soul, came to me and said, I want to open up a venue. I want to start performing again at a venue week in and week out, and tried to help, and we worked together to try to find a location. And it was Heklina and Darcy and their partners coming together to create Oasis. And during a time when there's a lot of pressure on queer nightlife and venues that were closing or potentially closing or being evicted or pushed out, and Darcy and Heklina and Jeff Benjamin and others came together and created a new space for our community, a new nightclub. And not just a really great, fun place to go out. I love going out at Oasis, but a place that centers and lifts up young queer performers and gives them that space to enter the community and to be recognized and to be discovered. And so I am so grateful to Darcy for everything that you do for our community. You are an unsung hero. Now you're being more sung, and that's great. And Darcy and I were just talking before about the tidal wave of hate that's come for our community, and that has particularly targeted drag queens. It's terrifying and it's despicable. And I think Darcy is aware that now being a very prominent and nationally recognized drag queen, there's going to be some hate that comes along with it. But the way that because I get some hate too, you're going to get hate, there are other people in this room who get that hate. The way you get through it, and the way that Darcy will get through it, is to always remember that for all that hate, there are all those young LGBTQ people, not just here, but across the country and around the world, who are going to look at you, Darcy, and are going to have hope for their future. So with that, it is now my honor to bring up someone who is also a community hero and who, in addition to being fabulous, busts her rear end every single day for this community, the amazing Sister Roma.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. What a great day to be alive. You know, first of all, let me say, as a member of the vetting committee, what a task. Thank you so much, Madam Mayor, for asking me to serve on that committee. And there are other members here, and I want to say it was a huge honor. And we'd like to thank everyone who did apply. We had some amazing, amazing choices, and we battled it out, and we're very, very happy with the selection that is made. And you know, it really feels right that we are naming the world's first drag laureate, because so many firsts happen right here in San Francisco. This was the first place to perform same-sex marriage. This is the birthplace of the Imperial Court, Dykes on Bikes, the Gay Men's Chorus, and the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. But really, so many other fabulous things have happened here. Most exceptionally, my dear friend, the wonderful Darcy Drollinger. I'm so proud of her, and I know that she is going to serve us very, very well. I mean, look at her. I'm an idiot for standing next to her. So I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Just thank you all for being here. Thank you for supporting drag, because this is the time when we need people to come out and show support for drag queens, for queer people, for trans people, and let the rest of the world know that when you say no drag, San Francisco says, hold my earrings. Here comes the world's first drag laureate. But before we do that, please welcome Mayor London Breed.
Well, Sister Roma, one correction. It's hold my earrings and somebody hand me the Vaseline. Because it's going down. Now, y'all know y'all mayor know how to fight now. That Vaseline kept those scratches off my face. So, now back to Darcy. Darcy has been a community activist, a business owner, a true artist, and a leader in this community for many, many years. And Senator Wiener mentioned Heclina, and I know they had a very special bond because it was how the Oasis was born, and during a global pandemic, the need for joy was so important. And the fact that Darcy decided, I am going to take over the Oasis, I'm going to create an amazing opportunity for people to celebrate and experience joy, even if it's by Zoom. I want Oasis to be that place. And you know what? It's just not enough to support my community. We know there are people out there who need joy, but also who need to eat. So Heels on Meals was born. And let me tell you, I prayed that somebody in drag would show up at my door with a meal, looking really fabulous, dressed from top to bottom. And the joy that it brought to so many of our seniors and people who were in need was extraordinary. You know, mobilizing marches, mobilizing events, mobilizing fundraisers and other things, and making sure there's a platform and a place for the next generation of those who are a part of this community is exactly why Darcy was the perfect person to serve in this capacity. Because even though the job description starts with be fabulous all the time, it also is an important part of representing San Francisco and our values for inclusion, making sure that people know that no matter who you are or where you come from or who you love, you have someone who has a voice that will always represent you and speak on your behalf, someone who will show up whether they're invited or not, to make it clear that I belong every place that anyone else belongs in this city. Because representation matters. It matters when people have a seat at the table. It matters when those voices are able to project loud and proud when those may try to silence us. Darcy walks in the room and you stop everything that you're doing. She stops you in her tracks, not just with her beauty, but with her intelligence and with her desire and her wit and her desire to really always try to build bridges and to collaborate and to figure out there is a void here. How do we make it better? How do we come together? How do we celebrate all things good and all things San Francisco? So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here is your new drag laureate for the city and county of San Francisco, Dashti Drollinger.
Wow. This is so amazing. I am humbled and I am thrilled to be here. And thank you for the center for having us. And, you know, I look around the room and I see so many people that I've worked with and have been friends with for so long, from painting the outside of the club to helping create a film studio, to running the district, to running my nightclub, to really helping make the movies. And there's so many of you that I cherish and I depend on for your advice and your expertise, and I couldn't be here without all of you. So thank you very much. All right. I got some notes, so bear with me. But I'm also so grateful to be the very first drag laureate of San Francisco and the very first drag laureate ever. I do want to thank Mayor London Breed and don't trick me. And the selection committee for choosing me and appointing me. I really appreciate your belief in drag, your understanding that drag is art, that drag brings communities and people together. And thank you for recognizing all that is fabulous. So I was born in San Francisco, a native, and this city means so much to me, and this community means so much to me. You know, when we opened the Oasis in 2014, it was a huge deal. It was really a big deal to have drag queens open up a nightclub and to not just continue showing up in other people's venues, but to say we are going to do it ourselves. And it was so hard. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in so many ways. And but we did it, and we created a clubhouse for the community that could be a stage for the community to feel safe and to be seen. It really it changed a lot of things for me, and I think for San Francisco. You know, I did that with Heclina. We also worked on the Golden Girls Live every year. You know, and year after year directing and producing that show to create this wonderful experience for people, hordes of people from all over coming to San Francisco to be part of this magic moment. And that is such, you know, dressing up, you know, I could dress up fabulous, but it was a whole other experience to dress up like an old lady, you know. Don't tell me there's no difference. Watch it, Persia. But, you know, drag has many forms and shapes and sizes, and that one was so great to see young and old, gay and straight, everyone together being part of that show. So the pandemic hit, and then all of a sudden, everything disappeared. And that's when we had to think outside the box. And that's when Meals on Heels was formed. That's when we created the streaming site, so we could entertain people, so we could be that sparkle during that very, very dark time. And we could also employ the drag community who suddenly didn't have jobs. And I do not wish that the pandemic ever happened, but if I hadn't have gone through that and really connected with so much of the community to sustain ourselves and to survive that, I don't think that I would be prepared in a way to take this position on if I hadn't gone through that. So there's always that silver lining, but I am so proud of all of my team for getting us through there, and all the people that saved us when we almost went under. And that telethon really made a huge difference, and you even did a video for that, so thank you. Thank you all for that. And now we're growing bigger and bigger all the time. I've started a nonprofit called Oasis Arts. Yes. To create resources for the LGBTQ artists in the community. I have partnered with the San Francisco Film Commission and the Rainham Foundation on that, and it's been an amazing adventure. We were developing a sound stage south of Market, and a resource for the community. I still teach my dance class every week. Come hell or high water, if you ever want to come dance with me every Sunday morning at 11. It's hard after some of those late Saturday nights. I will say that, you know, I came back in 2011 from New York. I was born here, but I had left and came back, and you know, I came back with a goal in mind, and that was to do art. But what happened was I saw a need for the community and lifting other community members up while doing my art. And, you know, it felt like the next step in this trajectory was the Drag Laureate program. I'm so proud to live in a city that pioneered this program well before all of this rhetoric was happening around the United States and the world. And that it really goes to show how much this city values the drag community, not just for entertainment, but for fundraising, for political advice. Across the gamut, they put the drag community in a higher pedestal than drag performers get in other states and other cities. So I am so proud to be here. And, you know, many of my peers have been feeling the weight of the protests that are taking over the artistic lives, but it's important to not just continue fighting back, but to actually make art, because that is the best way we can fight back. As the first Drag Laureate, I am dedicated to continuing my mission to uplift my fellow members of the LGBTQIA+ community and spread joy throughout this city. This role builds bridges and creates partnerships while elevating and celebrating the art of drag. I'm looking forward to the positive effects this will have on the community, on San Francisco, and the world at large. And I'm sorry, LA and New York, but we beat you to it!
We did beat LA, by the way. Love that! Anyway, they can keep their LGBTQ night. We got Darcy. I just want to say before I do this last bit of business for today, we have a number of our department heads here today. Monty with the San Francisco Film Commission. Pal is here from the Office of Transgender Initiatives. Our Fire Chief, Janine Nicholson, is joining us. The Director of the Human Rights Commission for San Francisco, Cheryl Davis, is with us. Our City Librarian, Michael Lambert. And our Chief of Protocol for the City and County of San Francisco, Miriam Madroglu. So many amazing departments had a part in helping to put this together, so I'm really glad to be here. And the last bit of official business, so to be clear, the drag community has a rich history in San Francisco, and we know that the place where the Compton cafeteria riots occurred, the people who really fought against the injustices that were happening to this community consisted of both the transgender community as well as the drag community, and that really set in stage, I think, what happened in New York during Stonewall. And this was in the 60s when it was a very extremely challenging time, and a lot of what is happening in the world that continues is why Darcy's voice and the discussions around the history of the community are going to be so important, and it's why I'm really honored and grateful that I've been able to collaborate with Supervisor Mandelman, and our goal with the $12 million we put in my budget last year is to build a LGBTQ museum right here in the Castro neighborhood, because it's important to make sure that that history is a part of the narrative as Darcy goes along with her various duties. But today, we want to officially proclaim it Drag Laureate Day in the City and County of San Francisco. Now, I was going to get her a crown, but I knew her hair would be too good to mess up, so flowers, proclamation, free parking all day. Thank you all so much. Thank you for being here. It's been a wonderful day, and congratulations, Darcy.